What's up? It's your boy Teo, and we in this bitch back on the Fuego Show. It's lovely to be here. Shout out Karen for the miss for the oatmeal latte. You know what I'm saying? That shit keep you growing. It's been a long day. Um, Jennifer Lopez is our guest. Just kidding, April Fools. Man, it's been a crazy week. I just want to say thank you to all the supporters. For the music lately, it's crazy. The reels have kind of been doing well. The monthly listeners is going up, and my YouTube music page is just we just hit a bando. Small accomplishments, but uh, big ones to me, low key. So I appreciate everybody who's been rocking with me and everything that I've been doing and putting out and listening to, whether it's the podcast, the music. I just much love for real, and I really can't, also shout out Daniel and Karen. If it wasn't for Daniel and Karen, none of this would be possible. Just a kid chasing his dream, and we love to see this stuff happen. You know what I'm saying? And so it's cool to be a part of it, and I'm loving the journey, even outside of this progressing in the sport that I have mad passion for. And I'm hoping sometime soon there's gonna be some content behind that. But yeah, man, let's just dive into it. So this is a solo dolo podcast. And shit, you know what? Maybe I'm looking for a co-host. Maybe we'll pay in like Dutch Bros Coffee. We'll see if you're cool. I don't know, but I feel like today the world is moving really fast, and a lot of things that I've been seeing as I kind of I'm not saying I'm getting as I grow, you know what I'm saying, and just learning life and kind of just going through it. Relationships, I feel like, are a big thing in life, and I feel like you need to have good relationships in life to be able to fully to prosper. You know what I'm saying? It's good to have a good environment, a good network around you. And relationships, whether it be it could be companionship, it could be a friendship, could be XYZ. And I feel like sometimes we tend to throw away good things, you feel me? And in the heat of the moment, and that's okay. But I'm a big believer in God, and I feel like right now in life, or not in life, and what's going on in the world, I feel like that's a hot take. And I do believe in God. I do believe in Jesus Christ. And there's just some things that I've taken from the Bible, and I'm not trying to be the one to preach, because I'm still working on my own journey. But there's stuff that I've learned from the Bible. There's some kind of wisdom that I've taken that I've been able to apply in real life that has improved my life in a lot of ways. And take it with a grain of salt. I know maybe I don't know how long this episode is gonna be. I just kind of just shooting the talk. And so I took some of my just some of the stuff that I've highlighted that I feel like could be knowledgeable. You know what I'm saying? So I think the first one I kind of want to touch base with is kind of tying into what I was just saying, is watch your relationships with others. Do not abandon an old friend, for a new one will not adequately replace him. A new friend is like new wine. Only when is it sufficiently aged can you drink it with pleasure. Do not envy the success of a sinner, for you can never be sure what his end will be. And I think this can go a long way. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying, take it with a grain of salt. Iron sharpens iron, and I think that you gotta have some type of, since I'm a dude, I'm gonna say a brotherhood kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So having friends that I have. So for example, my good buddy Josiah, right? I've known this man since I was fucking, man, dude, out the womb type beat. His mom was pregnant when my mom was pregnant at the same time, and we were born 3-4 months apart. So we just grew up with each other type shit. And that type of he's like a brother type shit. And that's someone I can always call on, always be whatever. And that I don't really think that I would ever sacrifice that type of relationship for the world. Man, I would go to war for that guy. Um, and like, I'm not saying that I haven't met new people that haven't bettered me or tried to push me even harder. I just think that having good, like I said, having that kind of good relationship with people that you can call on and count on in times of need or just to kind of bring some kind of joy is important. And I know that maybe a lot of people have that. Not a lot of people have that. And you know, some people I feel like they're lonely, but maybe are in forced solitude. And solitude isn't necessarily a bad thing, you know. I think that's a time of reflection, a time of where you can really understand who you is as a person. And I feel like a lot of people don't really know who they are as like, you know what I'm saying, who they are as people even. That's why I also think it's good to have some good people around you that you've known for a bit. They kind of they know you as a person. You feel me? And like, as long as you know, good-hearted people type shit. And yeah, like good homies. Like, you gotta have good people, good relationships type shit. I highly encourage people to maybe shit. Building that new relationships with people is dope too, but it does take time for like I don't know. Maybe that's a lie. I lie about that too. You can meet people too that are like you meet tomorrow that have good interests for you that'll fucking open up doors for you that you never even knew that could be open. So that's why I also think it's important to keep a good honorable companions around you, because that's what I think will carry you pretty far in life, you know. And as like a dude, another thing I feel like the younger, I wouldn't say the younger kind of guys, but people, I'm gonna say like early 20s maybe, early woo woo woo. I see like I feel like chasing women is cool, whatever. Like, we're all young, we all do whatever we all do, we gotta do. But this is something too that I've taken from the Bible as well. Is just many have been destroyed as a result of a woman's beauty, which causes passion to flare up like a fire. And I don't know about y'all, but I think for any dude speaking, there is always I think that's like the male arc canon event. You just be this crazy shawty, bro. She tests your fucking nerve, and I don't mean that in like in a healthy way. I mean in like, bro, think about the type of shit somebody does when they find out their spouse is like cheating on them or whatever. You know what I mean? That emotion can invoke so quickly, bro. And like I just say be careful out here, because you never know what these shotties be on either. Sometimes your intentions can be good, bro. Sometimes you could be even straightforward and the most upfront person, whatever. And it's just no bueno, brother. No bueno. Just, you know what I'm saying? Always just use your discernment. Pray for discernment. And like, for those of you who don't really know what discernment is, it's just for really have like really good intuition. And you know, use it adequately. I feel like if you kind of just, that's the way I kind of been able to go through life a little bit more diligently, I guess you could say, trying to make better choices. Because like I said, man, you got to protect your heart, because everything you do comes from it. And the moment that's tainted, and the moment that feels like broken, that spirit, whatever, bro, it could set you back. You know what I'm saying? And not everyone has that go get it, bounce back every single time. Some people, you know, everybody grieves differently. So I just think like you can't be out here just willy nilly and fucking who you're trusting and shit. And don't be stupid either. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be out here trusting fucking everybody type shit. You never know somebody's true intentions sometimes, and like, you could be the most pure-hearted person, but unfortunately in a world full of greed, it's just no bueno. Don't do it. But that's just something that I've applied, and again, like I said, take it with a grain of salt. And I don't know if I'm just rambling at this point, but I think it'd be I think it's worthy. You know what I'm saying? And it leads into kind of what I'm finna say next is do not trust in appearances. I know everyone has always heard that saying of like it's, you know, don't judge a book by its cover, X, Y, Z. Um, I think that's something we should actually kind of take a little bit more seriously. And something that I kind of read that kind of just, I wouldn't say that like it is very just, the parable on it kind of just makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, do not praise anyone for his good looks or despise any on the basis of his appearance. Among the winged creatures, the bee is the small, but it's produced the choice of the sweetest harvest. And so, I mean, if you really think about it, I think like it's true. David and Goliath. That's kind of like, it's funny if you think David and Goliath. You know what I'm saying? David, small dude, Mark the Giant. B, small. Think about what the bee fucking does. Carries pollen. It makes all these other flowers beautiful as shit, and then it also makes honey. Pretty sweet, pretty cool. That's pretty fucking cool thing. But there is fucking other stuff. I don't know why I'm just rambling about this. I'm talking about a bee, but the fucking bee. Okay, this bee is an analogy of you could be onto the smallest of things, bro. No matter how small your vision may be, don't compare it to something. Whatever it may look like, it may not be exactly what it seems. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. So again, take it with a grain of salt. It's like you can really create magic with something small. And I feel like in a world where we're competing against AI, robots, and like all these crazy big whoop whoops, like the best thing you can really do is just be authentically you and be the small guy in the fish. Because you know what I'm saying? You'll eventually, things will just kind of just grow into something pretty. You know what I'm saying? I think that goes into everything. You know what I'm saying? You put a little faith in it, put a little work into it, and something beautiful comes out of it. But you got to do it with like pure intentions. You feel me? And that's when you get a sweet harvest. If you, I feel like when your heart is kind of tainted and it's in the wrong area, you feel me? It's gonna be harder for you to operate, or harder for things to kind of come into fruition. So sometimes you have to reflect and really be like, X, Y, Z, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? And no matter how small that vision is, it's just like faith of a mustard seed, bro. It all starts with small. It all starts small. It has to start somewhere. So whether it be fucking starting that business, maybe starting that travel journey, maybe starting your journey with God, you know what I'm saying? It all starts small, but it might lead to something sweeter in the long run, you know what I mean? Just chase the vision. And I really with the type of content that gets put out nowadays, and I'm all for spreading like positivity and XYZ, but sometimes these people out here, they're just fools, and sometimes you just gotta let fools be a fool. And kind of what I'm gonna say next is just, many kings have been forced to sit on the ground, while others who were never considered worthy of respect have worn a crown. And I think that goes into today's society a lot. I feel like you got two types of people who I feel like are in this era. You feel me? And I'm not dogging like influencers, because there's good and there's bad, right? That's what I'm kind of getting at. Is like, having influence is power, and I don't think a lot of people realize that in this day and age. And so sometimes people who aren't even worthy of respect have a platform and are kind of just doing shit, and it just kind of starts like a like a trend. And unfortunately, bro, like I know people don't think about it in the moment in time of like, oh, how can this affect XYZ, or how can this like, who might see this? I think the whole point is like virality, right? Is like to try to get big and like do these numbers, to get these clips and like XYZ. But the majority, you know what I'm saying, is like, you know, when you get these kids who be seeing some stuff, and I know it's like parents, whatever the fuck, but they're the quickest learners, you know what I'm saying? Like it's incredibly, it's actually kind of amazing to see how fast these kids be learning. And I be saying that just because like whenever I was in school for music and I would get to work with some kids, whatever, how fast they would learn some stuff is crazy. And even in like in the martial arts world, you know, you see some of these kids and they're able to catch on and progress really quickly in a sport that's very chaotic. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's crazy. But I don't think they realize like the effect to the masses. You feel me? And it's okay though. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not here bashing no one. I'm saying we're all young. We all do whatever, and that's the point. You know what I'm saying? We all gotta go through it at some point, start somewhere, and shit. Just don't be trying to compare again. Like I think that's the biggest takeaway you can get from this is don't be comparing yourself to nobody, because you might be standing on a whole different type of morality, a whole different type of business, XYZ. You know, I think like the best example is like there's a clip of Terrence Crawford and he's on a podcast and they're asking him how much to get in the ring again. Someone said 100 M's and then Terrence was like, nah. And fucking someone said you could have my soul for 100 M's. And Terrence said, though that shows you a lot about your character and now we know who you are as a person. And I think that's the perfect example of that. You know, a lot of the times people will sell their moralities for whatever, you feel me? And like I said, that's you know what I'm saying? But it exposes character, and I think right now a lot of people are throwing that out the window, you feel me? And right now I think that's like, I think the biggest takeaway right now is kind of the world needs it, you feel me? I feel like it'd be dope. And another thing too, man, I think sometimes we hold grudges. You feel me? And I think like I've learned personal. I've lost a lot. Like I lost a lot of like loved ones in a very short period of time, and it was crazy, right? Life was just like woo 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 woo, and you know there's like a brief moment in time where like me and my homeboy Josiah, like we just kind of had a little button of heads, as you usually would if you know someone for fucking almost 2 decades. Fucking we can't harbor anger against one another, you know what I'm saying? And you can't and expect any type of healing from the Lord, bro. And I think that's like, if you let your heart be tainted with so much, bro, and I know that there's a lot of wicked shit that goes on, but man, I think the Epstein Files is the perfect example of good and evil that's going on in this world. And if I can't stress, like, there is definitely a spiritual battle between God and the evil one type shit. It's like, I don't know how blatantly more I could tell you, bro, but like, you can't, an angry heart, bro, it can lead to a lot of stuff, bro. It says you can make a woman turn from her virtuous ways. You know what I'm saying? It's like, the tongue is powerful, and in the moment of anger, you can lose everything. So I know that's not really. It's like, is it really worth it? Sometimes you really gotta like analyze it, and to harbor that type of like anger towards or animosity towards somebody, sometimes it ain't even worth it. Cause a lot of the times people go tit for tat. You know, that's just. In martial arts, it's what we're told in combat sports. You know what I'm saying? It's tit for tat usually. Like when you're learning how to like read people, you'll learn. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes some coaches, or some coaches will tell you when you're I don't know. This is from my personal experience, and it's called probing. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes human nature in us sometimes will try to get somebody back with exactly what we just threw at them. So like if I hit you with a low kick or whatever, you might do something to try to hit me with a low kick. And maybe maybe you're not trying to do that, but subconsciously it's happening, right? And I think it's the same thing with like in the real world a lot of the times. If you have like some type of anger and you're like having that do tit for tat, it never really, you know what I'm saying? And how can you get any peace from that? How can you really get any kind of, real healing from that? Because sometimes it's just best just to fucking let bygones be bygones, you know what I mean? And just cut your losses short, charge it to the game, and move on. And that's the realest shit you can do sometimes, bro. Is just say fuck it and move on. And excuse my cursing, but like it ain't really worth, man. Strife disturbs peace, bro. And the more fuel there is, the fiercer the fire will burn. The greater the obstinacy shown, the fiercer the strife will be. And I don't really think there's any other better words to put it. You know what I'm saying? If you blow on a spark, it will flare into a flame. If you spit on it, it'll die out. But you achieve both results from the mouth. And again, this is from the Bible. So like, if you want to quote me, whatever. This is like, so for Christians out there, it would be like Israelites. I don't know if it'd be 29, and then for like the Catholics, it'd be like wisdom of Ben and Sirah 29, and like it would be peace. Can't see the number. It was like what 8 through 12. Read that. You know what I'm saying? And like quote me on it. But yeah, it's facts, man. You achieve both results from the mouth, bro. You gotta watch what you say when you're angry. When you're angry, it entices not good emotions. Man, But yeah, like I said, just in fucking another thing is don't take advice from people who ain't trying to do what you're doing or have never done what you're trying to do or been in your shoes or even remotely close to any of that. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes, bro, you don't know where their advice is coming from and what kind of intention is it? Is it actually to benefit you? Is their best interest? And I say that because sometimes some people, bro, like you might be genuinely coming to be like woo woo woo, you know what I mean? And the advice that you might get might not be the advice. I'm not saying that you might hear, but it might not be what you actually need to do type shit. And some people might want to lead you astray. And I think you got to just kind of lock in and trust and take that leap of faith. Faith, you know what I'm saying? Walk by faith, never fear. And if you can't even just do that, it's dead. Like, it's just dead works. You know what I'm saying? And so like, I think the best. Okay, again, this is what the Bible says, right? You know what I'm saying? And this is just says like, be wary of the one who offers advice, right? And pretty much it's just going into be wary of the one who offers advice. First out first, what his interest is. For he may be thinking of only his own best interest. His advice not be to your advantage. He may tell you how good your way may be and then stand aside to see what happens to you. Do not consult anyone who regards you with suspicion or reveal your plans to those who are jealous of you. Never consult with a woman about her rival or with a coward about war, with a merchant about business or with a buyer about selling, or with a miser about generosity, or a cruel person without a goodness of heart. And I think, yeah, again, there's not really any better words to really put that in. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people who hear that might relate to it because what the fuck? You know what I mean? Excuse my language, but I think we've all been in that advice. Or been in some type of position where we felt maybe, I wouldn't say envy, but maybe some type of jealousy from people or, people who not want to say want to be you, but just hate how you keep making shit happen throughout everything that keeps happening to you. Some people resent resiliency. Some people resent like, I'm really naturally, it's like in the type of work that I do, I work in I'm in the automotive field, and I talk to people on a regular basis. I'm not like a salesman, but I do have to have, conversations with people. And so I've had people even tell me they envy how I'm naturally good with people. And that's a crazy statement. And again, like, how could you talk to someone about business if they're not trying to do that? How could you talk to someone about making music if they've never even tried to woo whoop? How could you? It's just, if you're trying to do something, you would probably want to take advice from someone who's in that field, may have your best interests at heart, or just kind of, you know what I'm saying, just really actually wants to see you succeed. And I know, again, it's hard to find these things in life, and then like sometimes you kind of have to be your own corner man for a little bit, and it's okay. You feel me? It's okay, because along your journey you'll find people who, again, you'll build relationships with, and it'll be, once time flies, bro, and you'll end up building relationships with people you'll like, you don't even, I'm telling you, bro, life will just open up the doors. God will put people in your path that need to be in your path, and just, yeah, and you gotta trust. Start small, man. Start small. And I think wealth is important, right? I think money is important. I think those things are very important. It makes the world go round. It's everything, right? We live in a very, you know, Amazon this, fucking Target that. And some people who've never had much in life, I feel like, look at luxury or look at wealth as like this like, it makes life like a whole lot better, and it, in the grand scheme, it does make life a lot easier. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about some things, but there is struggle there. And I've met people who make, again, a couple millions, maybe they just, make the best life of choices, and, still really unhappy people. But then again, there's also on the flip side that there's other people I've met that are extremely happy individuals. And what I've come to terms with is that money just amplifies whoever you are prior, and like, you kind of just have to make, I wouldn't say good, you got to make good decisions. You know what I'm saying? Being able to be blessed in that role of being able to have that type of money is crazy in a world where, like I said, it's crazy right now. You know what I mean? Like California, it's wild right now. It's wild. But the reason why is, like, money comes, money goes. It's like, do not wear yourself out in the pursuit of wealth and cease to even think about it. When you fix your gaze upon it, it is gone before you realize it. For it suddenly sprouts its wings and flies up to the sky like an eagle. And yeah, man, this is true. Like, I mean, if your money's not working for you, or like if you don't have it set aside in some type of way, I mean, fuck. I mean, you're already spending it. A lot of times people can achieve wealth. It's just sometimes the financial discipline's hard of it. But we all die at some day, and I think we should be more mindful of that. So it's okay to spend money on the people you love. You feel me? Like, because again, not everyone's blessed with that go-getter mentality, this hustle-up mentality, I'm gonna go get this, that, and third. Like, some people just don't operate in that type of movement. You know what I'm saying? So if you are in a position to be able to do that for your loved ones, I say, fuck, do it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where I think having wealth is good. I think that a lot of people's, I think you just have, again, like, it's good to have, but like, don't kill yourself over it too. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a balance. And sometimes even just having the simpler things in life, you're richer than most. You feel me? Like having a good net, having a good relationships, whatever, having maybe that one friend you can call up on. Imagine you and your homeboy racing Lambo. Shit, that's cool too. You know what I mean? Like, vibes. Like, but just don't get too fixated on it, because I think right now it's easy for I think, like, anybody who just hops on Instagram and sees everybody, or like TikTok, and they're living these crazy ass lifestyles, or like, And sometimes you're like, what in the fuck? Especially with people like the OnlyFans wave and shit. You just be like, damn, cuz, like, I'm over here slaving, working extra 12-hour woo to whoop, and you seen fucking Trap Lord 300 fucking buying his crib and fucking Hello Kitty Shawty or whatever the hell doing her thing and buying her fucking Porsche. And you're like, goddamn, you know? And sometimes it's just, I'm not saying this is, again, don't even stress it, twin. Like, it's easy to either be faking this shit or fucking in the shit and not even realize you're in this shit. You feel me? And like, maybe I'm just rambling. This is just my personal thing. Take it with a grain of salt. I don't really give a fuck, but about what people do with their choices as far as that goes. You do whatever, do what you do, but people do, I think, take that in and I feel like they're behind in life or something like that. And I just think everybody has to figure out what their definition of success and happiness is, whether that be like having a family, maybe it might be having a couple of M's, and like really realizing how you're gonna obtain that, or like how, you know what I'm saying, how can you set yourself up for like just chilling, you feel me? But you know, I think this kind of goes to like my next thing. I think it's probably what I'll call it, low key, after this. All right, is just let your generosity extend to all. Be generous in your gifts to the poor, so that your blessing may be complete. Let your generosity also extend to all of the living. Again, that goes back to what I was saying. Like, if you're doing good, know who you're doing good for, right? And that, I think that's like the biggest takeaway, is if you're always going to do any type of good, just know who you're doing good for, and it's okay to be generous. And shit, you never know, whenever you have that urge to be like, shit, here you go, or like, ooh, you might be answering somebody's prayer, you know? Sometimes that's just like that. Sometimes that's the Holy Spirit. Sometimes that's just, some people call intuition, whatever. But yeah, take it with a grain of salt, twin, and fucking roll with it. You know, it's good. It's okay to be calm. It's okay to be, you know, chilling. I feel like, shit, this world is crazy right now, man. And so just humility is key, I feel like, right now. So yeah, this is just a little bit more me as like Teo. I feel like a lot of the times I interview people, I'm more of the person being like, woo 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 woo, how you doing? But yeah, it's just me now, man. I'm saying a little bit more me as like who I am as like I guess as a person too, you know. But like, yeah, it's dope. Keep streaming the music, keep tapping in for the podcast, keep tapping in for the reels, you know what I'm saying? More and more content coming out. I'm excited for what's to come. Kind of excited to see how we grow. The Fuego family, I scuttled it already. Shit. Follow Teo to Fuego on all socials. Teo Kingz on YouTube. Subscribe to the Fuego Show. Let's get it.
You and I were together.